Welcome back to Captain Willie Goes Overboard. The journey continues. Right now, I'm waiting at the airport in Lyon, France. And this trip is finally coming to a close. For the last month, I've been traveling around south and central parts of France with my parents. We went from Nice the first week to Arles in Provence, then to Annecy in the Alps region close to Switzerland and Italy, and then we went to Lyon, where I've been for the last week and I'm now flying out of. And sincerely, this has been a really special trip. My dad had a birthday, and it was Mother's Day just a couple days ago. And just a couple of months ago, my parents had their 50th anniversary, which is a pretty incredible milestone. And I'm stoked to have the quality time with them. It's not something that I could have done in the past, the way things were. This trip wasn't really planned far in advance. I had just gone to Washington, D.C. to apply for my visa. I decided to go for the D4 visa, which is for the internship that I got to become a dive master. I will be working with We Dive in Lagos. So getting that visa appointment done was one of the things that I was here in the United States to do, sort of checking things off the list so that I could head out. And I knew I wanted to get back to Europe soon, but I didn't have an exact plan or a timeline for how or when to do that. And that's when my parents invited me to come to France for a month. So I said, why not? Let's go. Actually, they invited me for the next week or so to go to Paris as well, but I opted out of that part. I thought a month was a long trip and long enough to get a feel for big chunks of France, but I also wanted to get back to my scheduled program. Part of this whole experiment I'm doing with my life right now is trying to create more space to enjoy spontaneous experiences, just live life, and just see where life takes me sometimes. And that's kind of what this month became. Not quite a vacation, but kind of. And not really tourism either. More like a transition space, somewhere between my previous life and the life I'm trying to build. But somewhere along the way, I noticed I started turning more inward than I expected. Part of that was probably because of what happened to me in Nice. I don't think it traumatized me or something like that, but it definitely shifted something. I became a little more guarded. A little more aware or observant or just careful. And honestly, moving from city to city every week also made it harder to really connect. By the time I started figuring out a place, it was already time to move on again. So instead, I spent a lot of time thinking, walking a lot, figuring out how to get this channel started, how to make and edit videos. This is brand new to me. And honestly, that turned out to be really important to me too, because if I had gone straight to Portugal, then I may not have had the bandwidth to work on that. I probably would have been distracted with sailing and diving and all the new things that I wanted to do there. So maybe I wouldn't have gotten started with Captain Willie Goes Overboard. Who knows? It took me quite a while to just figure out how I wanted to tell this story. So I don't really look at this month as a detour. I really think I needed it, and things work out how they should. I also feel ready for a different mode again. I'm ready to not be floating around quite so much. Well, it's good to be back, Faro. Such a pretty little town. I missed you. Every time I come here, I have a great time. So, what I was saying before I had to jump on the flight was I think I'm ready for another mode and start building some real momentum. Back to TONIC, my sailboat. That's one thing I love about Portugal. It's a sailing country. Just a side note, there's my setup. That's all I travel with. So I'm going back to We Dive and the Dive Master training. Man, this place is so cute. Heading back to actually build the foundation of this nomad sailing life. And I think that also means staying still long enough to build some community, to settle in a little bit. I'm excited to keep learning and get in a groove, get in a routine, and maybe feel a little more grounded for a while. Because freedom isn't just movement. I think I'm starting to understand that more now. Anyway, next stop, Lagos. I think I'm really ready for it. This is Captain Willie Goes Overboard. Let's feel something real. 8 euros to get from Faro to Lagos on the train. What a beautiful day. Let's go!